Welcome back once again to the Imaginary Gallery. We are in the second part of Jackson MacKenzie's Spotting Toxic People. Number 16 is these people have an unusual number of crazy people in their past. Any ex-partner or friend who did not come crawling back to them will be likely labeled as jealous, bipolar, alcoholic, or some other nasty kind of smear. Make no mistake, they will speak about you the same way when they move on to their next target. So be prepared for that. Number 17, they provoke jealousy and rivalries while maintaining their cover of innocence. Once, remember, they directed all of their attention to you, which makes it especially confusing when they begin to withdraw and focus on other people. They do things that constantly make you doubt your place in their heart. If they're on social media, they'll bait previously denounced exes with old songs, photos, and inside jokes. They attend to the competition's activity and ignore yours. Number 18, idealization, love bombing, and flattery. When you first meet, everything moves really fast. They tell you how much they have in common with you, how perfect you are for each other. Like a chameleon, they'll mirror your hopes, dreams, and insecurities in order to form an immediate bond of trust and excitement. They constantly initiate communication, texting, calling, email, and seem to be fascinated with you on every single level. If you have a Facebook page, they'll plaster it with songs, compliments, poems, and inside jokes. Number 19, they compare you to everyone else in their life. They compare you to ex-lovers, friends, family, and eventual replacements. When idealizing, they make you feel special by telling you how much better you are than all these other people. When devaluing, they use these same comparisons to make you feel jealous and inferior. Number 20, these qualities they once claimed to admire about you suddenly become glaring faults. I've seen that one. At first, they appeal to your deepest vanities and vulnerabilities, observing and mimicking exactly what they think you want to hear. But after you're hooked, they start to use these things against you. You spend more and more time trying to prove yourself worthy to the very same person who once said that you were perfect. Number 21, cracks in their mask. There are fleeting moments when the charming, cute, innocent persona is replaced by something else, demonic. You see a side that you've never seen before during the idealization phase, and it's a side that's cold, inconsiderate, and manipulative. You start to notice that the personality just doesn't add up, that the person you fell in love with doesn't actually seem to exist. Well, it doesn't. Number 22 is easily bored. They're constantly surrounded by other people, stimulated and praised at all times. They cannot tolerate being alone for an extended period. They become quickly uninterested by anything that doesn't directly impact them in a positive or thrilling way. At first, you might be tempted to think that they're really exciting and worldly, and you feel inferior for preferring familiarity and consistency. Number 23, triangulation. They surround themselves with former lovers, potential mates, and anyone else who provides them with added attention. This includes people that the psychopath may have previously denounced and declared you superior to. This makes you feel confused, cognitive dissonance, and creates the perception that the psychopath is in high demand at all times. Number 24, which is one of my specialties, covert abuse. From an early age, most of us were taught to identify physical mistreatment and blatant verbal insults. But with these monsters, the abuse is just not so obvious. You won't likely even understand that you were in an abusive relationship until way after it's over. Through personalized idealization and subtle devaluation, the psychopath can effectively erode the identity of any chosen target. From an outsider's view, you will appear to have just lost it, while the psychopath walks calmly away, completely unscathed. 25. Pity plays and sympathy stories. Their horrible behavior always has sob story roots. They claim to act this way because of some kind of abusive ex, or an abusive parent, or an abusive cat. They say that all they've ever wanted is some peace and quiet, and that they hate drama. Please. And yet there's more drama surrounding them than anyone you've ever known. Ain't that the truth? Yes, it is. Number 26, the sweet and mean cycle. Sometimes they shower you with attention. Sometimes they ignore you. Sometimes they criticize you. They treat you differently in public than in private. They could be talking about marriage one day and then breaking up on the next. You never know where you stand with such a person. This author says his morning coffee friend wrote, "They put forth as little effort as possible and then step it up when you try to disengage." Number 27. This creature has become your entire life. You're spending more of your time with them and their friends and less time with your own support network. They're all you think about and talk about. You isolate yourself in order to make sure that you are available for them. You cancel plans and eagerly wait by the phone for the next communication. For some reason, the relationship seems to involve a lot of sacrifices on your end, but very few on theirs. 28. Arrogance. Despite the humble, sweet image that's been presented in those early stages, you start to notice an unmistakable air of superiority about it. They talk down to you as if you were intellectually deficient and emotionally unstable. They have no shame when it comes to flaunting new targets after the breakup, ensuring that you see just how happy they are without you. Number 29, backstabbing, gossip that changes on a whim. They plant little seeds of poison, whispering about everyone, idealizing them to their face, and then complaining about them behind their backs. You find yourself disliking or resenting people that you've never even met. For some reason, you might even feel special for being the one that he or she complains to. But once the relationship turns rotten, they will run back to everyone they once insulted to you, lamenting about how crazy you've become. Number 30, your feelings. Your natural love and compassion has transformed into overwhelming panic and anxiety. You apologize and cry more than you ever have in your whole life. You hardly ever sleep. You wake up every morning feeling anxious and unhinged. You have no idea what happened to your old relaxed, fun, easygoing self. After a run-in with a psychopath, you will feel insane, exhausted, drained, shocked, and empty. You tear your entire life apart, spending money, ending friendships, and searching for some sort of reason behind it all. Then the author goes on to say that you will find that normal, loving people do not raise any of these flags. After an encounter with a psychopath, most survivors face the struggle of hypervigilance. Who can really be trusted? Your gauge will swing back and forth for a while, like a volatile pendulum. You'll wonder if you've gone mad, wanting to believe the best in an old friend or new date, but feeling sick to your stomach when you actually spend time with them because you're waiting for the manipulative behavior to start. And he tells you that developing your intuition is a personal process. But he'll leave you with this. The world is mostly full of good people, and you don't want to miss out on that because you've been hurt. Spend time getting back in touch with your feelings. Keep tweaking until you find a comfortable balance between awareness and trust. Look within and understand why you felt the way you did when you were with your abusive partner and how you felt before you met it. You'll discover many old relationships may need revisiting. And as you begin to abandon toxic patterns, healthier ones will inevitably appear in their place. And then he quotes a longtime friend. You'll stop asking, do they like me? And start asking, do I like them?
My usual technique works pretty much every time, which is, as I mentioned, I'm pretty quiet. I don't say much. Like on a first date, if you want the truth, I've gone on first dates where I didn't only make love to the date, but I made love to the date's roommate and the roommate's father. So if that gives you an idea of the fact I don't have the normal boundaries, but I couldn't dare expect to go on a first date with you and say, hey baby, is your roommate's father available and him too? Just so you know, the first date I was up for anything, even pregnancy, unprotected. But I've learned through my experience not to say too much. So I let you lead the way.
You see, when going on dates in today's day and age, I've learned I gotta pretty much play it by ear because, after all, I'm ready and up for anything and everything. But most people I've met just aren't that way, and the particular ones I'm targeting, I don't want to be that way. So I try to find those like you who appear to have some kind of moral values of which I have no clue what that even means, except it gives me what I want when I find people who have it. So I try to emulate your moral values. Like when I started to kiss you on the first date.
You told me that you don't go very far with anyone on a first date. And sleeping with me was out of the question, which I was a little disappointed, but not too much, because I'd just been slept with 6 other people right before I saw you. But that was kept conveniently quiet. But oh no, I put on the mask of, oh, you seem to have morals, well, so do I. I'm glad you didn't want to spend the night with me. Because if you would have asked me to do that, I couldn't see you anymore. Yes, I'm full of it, but I'm prepared.
And let me stop you before you even go there.
Yes, I remember. After a week or two of us dating. I know you remember I was pressuring you for a full-time commitment. And I know that you knew that I was a whore. You knew that I'd had at least 7 lovers in the last 7 weeks. But I tried to convince you that, well, that's the past. I wanted to be with you forever. Remember? I was begging you for a commitment, remember that? And I know you had a hard time with that, because you knew I was a loose whore. But you were questioning, like asking me things like, how could I want to be with you forever if I'm a loose whore? Well, if you need the truth, I didn't know what to say, because this is all just a play-it-by-ear game for me, and sometimes certain lines work, sometimes certain lines don't. So, I just tried to convince you that I woke up yesterday, the day before, and decided I didn't want that whore lifestyle anymore. And clearly you saw through that, I'm guessing, which I don't know why, because I'm just playing an act. I have no idea.
If you want the truth, I saw you as an object for me to gain from. I saw that you had a full-time job. You had a nice car. You had a nice place.
So, rather than revel on those details, I focused on the insecurities I thought you had, like your thinning hair. I would say how thick your hair looks tonight. And it worked. Because if you need the truth, my goal was to find myself a place within your place. And that's why I came on so strong about you committing to me.
And if you need the truth, I ain't got a clue what it would be like to commit to anyone's body, just so you know. But I couldn't tell you this, so I acted like that's all I want is a commitment forever. Even when you question my horror behaviors in my threesomes the night before and my group sex the last week, I just tried to say, well, it just got to a time when
I decided I don't want that anymore. I know that was lame, but I don't think these things through. I want commitment, you know why? Because I love commitment. Because so many people out there take it so seriously, and I wanted you all to myself. Now, of course, we know I would never, ever be satisfied with one source of pleasure. Come on now, but when you question that, I would tell you, oh no, you're all I ever need forever. And you kinda bought it. Which, of course, it was BS, but I didn't know what else to say because I don't study this stuff. My goal was to convince you to commit to me. Because I've got the rest under control. I'm not going to commit to anybody, of course, but I can play the role. So I can be your loving lover when I'm home with you. The moment you leave for work, different story. I'm out having sex with the football team. But you'll never know. I don't got that conscience crap that you all fools do. I don't feel guilt or remorse. I just feel a rush that I got away with it and you didn't find out about it. So, when you started to catch on to me, I couldn't let my secret out. I just had to get going and find the next target. Hopefully that helps a little. Happy holidays from the Narcopath.